evening and welcome to Halton News. I'm Melissa Candelaria, filling in for Jessica Kading. So let's get things started with a look at your COVID numbers for today in Halton. Region-wide, we are dealing with 689 active cases with no new reported deaths, fortunately. And going into your specific communities, we have Burlington with 123 active cases, 9 hospitalizations, 18 reported deaths. Oakville with 232 active cases and 21 reported deaths. Milton at its highest in the region with 287 cases, only 7 deaths reported in that community, and Halton Hills with 47 active cases and 14 reported deaths. It seems we can start seeing the light at the end of the COVID tunnel, if you will, as it looks like getting the vaccine is coming sooner rather than later. I spoke with Oakville MP Anita Anand, who is also the Minister of Public Services and Procurement, earlier, who says we can expect a rollout in the new year.
I will say that we do have 7 agreements in place with vaccine suppliers for a total of up to 414 million doses for Canadians. In terms of vaccine deliveries, we are on track to receive 6 million doses from 2 suppliers, Moderna and Pfizer, in the first quarter of 2021. And I can confirm that. And I just want to be clear that the Government of Canada and I, as Procurement Minister, am working very closely with Patty Hajdu, the Health Minister, to make sure that we are able to roll out those vaccines to Canadians as soon as possible. I've put in place with my department contracts for freezers and deep freezers so that when the Pfizer vaccine arrives, it can be stored properly. We are putting in place contracts for dry ice as well. And finally, a logistics provider that will ensure end-to-end seamless logistics deliveries to the provinces and territories. So we are on track. We do have a plan. That plan consists of regulatory approval, distribution, and administration. And on the administration side, many months ago, we began our ordering for syringes and gauze and swabs and alcohol swabs in addition to that, and we will be ready when a vaccine is approved by Health Canada.
So now that we have somewhat of a time frame as to when the vaccine's coming, the next question is how it's going to be rolled out. Both Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Ontario's Premier Doug Ford have already announced that it will require military involvement to help in the distribution of the vaccine once it's here, including creation of a task force. Now, that may seem a little daunting to hear, and you may be wondering why the military would be needed to roll out the vaccine. So earlier in the week, we spoke with the Director of Infection and Prevention and Control at Burlington's Joseph Brant Hospital, Dr. Dale Kalina, who says this vaccine distribution will need all the help it can get.
So I think given what we've seen in the past week in terms of the shoulders that have been tapped for who's going to be leading the vaccine distribution, it is going to be a militant outreach. I mean, the widespread vaccine distribution speaks to how difficult it is to actually roll out something that's this big. I've spoken to the fact that you need a cold chain, so an ability to refrigerate the vaccine the entire time for some of them, but not all of them. And it's an incredibly complex system to allow for the vaccine to be rolled out. Now, to boil it down though, people that need the vaccine the most will get it first. So that will primarily be people that are at risk, say long-term care residents, people with comorbidities and other conditions, and also healthcare workers, because those are the people that are needed to help care for everybody else that gets the infection. So beyond that, and we'll see everybody getting vaccinated. And again, it's something that I can't encourage enough. A little bit of a sore shoulder and feeling a little bit of a fever for a day is much, much better than the actual infection itself.
Now, the federal government did say that possibly by September of next year is when it'll be widely available to everybody. But Premier Doug Ford called on Justin Trudeau demanding more specific timelines other than the new year of 2021 as to when the vaccine will roll out, and in particular, which of the vaccines we are getting. Dr. Kalina goes into more detail on the difference between the vaccines that may be available to us.
Yeah, so the concept of an mRNA vaccine, so it's a messenger RNA vaccine, has been around for about 20 years. And the reason why it's getting so much publicity right now is that the first two vaccines that were released, the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine, are both mRNA vaccines. And really what it means is that it's giving the body the opportunity to produce some of the proteins to which it would develop an immune response. So a traditional vaccine, we inject the antigen. In a traditional vaccine, we inject a component of a deactivated or a weakened virus, as opposed to in this one, we're injecting the blueprint to make some of those proteins ourselves. You can't make a full virus, you can't make anything that's infective. And the exciting thing is that you can actually ramp up production of the virus, you can actually ramp up production of the vaccine really, really quickly. The con, however, is that you need to keep it refrigerated or frozen for all of the transport. So that's why we were seeing for those first two vaccines that they need to be kept frozen. And that's why in a traditional vaccine, you don't need to keep it at that cold temperature. But a traditional vaccine is a little bit harder to produce. And that's where you need eggs, for instance, to help grow those viruses. And that's why you've got those egg allergy based vaccines and those problems.
So, of course, with all this good news about a possible vaccine, Dr. Kalina also wants to stress that although it is coming, it doesn't mean we can relax on our personal measures to stay safe.
So I think at the end of the day, a vaccine is fantastic, but it is just another tool in our belts. We have masks, we have distancing, we've got hand washing, and soon we'll have vaccines as well. Using all of those together will allow us to return to normalcy sooner. And the return to normalcy really is not based on how many tools we've got, but on how widespread the virus is in all of our communities. If you're able to bring virus numbers down to zero as fast as possible, then we can return to normal pretty quickly. And that's the type of thing that we've seen in Vietnam, in New Zealand, in some areas of Australia as well. And hopefully what we'll be able to see with more tools in our tool belt.
Halton police have arrested a driving instructor for sexual assault. Police say 56-year-old Mohammed Zafar of Hamilton has been charged with sexual assault and sexual exploitation. Zafar was a driving instructor in Burlington, and the victim was a student of his. Police say they believe there may be additional victims, that Zafar may have been operating as a private driving instructor in around the Burlington area or Hamilton as well. If you have any info or you want to talk to somebody about this, you can talk to Detective Constable Megan Wong of the Child and Sexual Assault Unit at 905-825-4747, extension 8979. And of course, if you want to remain anonymous, you can always call Crime Stoppers. This week's episode of Oakville Matters takes aim at the province's Bill 229 and its proposed changes to the Conservation Authorities Act. We've heard quite a lot about this past week, and we've brought you many reports on that issue. So, Cindy Toth, retired Director of Environmental Policy for the town and current Vice Board Chair of the Halton Environmental Network, gave her take on what the changes might mean. Have a look.
Why don't we start with what's the worst part of the bill? Cindy, do you want to go first? What's your nomination for the very worst part of the bill?
Oh, that's a really difficult one because, depending on your perspective, there's an impact, in terms of land use planning and the protection and the politicizing of land use planning and the potential ability of the province to, override not only conservation authorities' decisions, but also municipalities' decisions when, especially, municipalities and conservation authorities work very strongly in terms of land use planning protection policies of our hazard lands and our flood zones and important habitats and wetlands. And this overriding option for the province to step in is apparently related to some conflicts and municipal, raising a municipal voice. But when the municipal voice often aligns with the conservation authority voice, then it actually gives the province an ability to override municipal decision making as well. And that's really
municipalities and conservation authorities working in partnership to protect important lands is one of those huge improvements that we've seen over the past while. And there's a great alignment, and that potentially could be gone.
It is Black Friday, and of course, this is normally when people go out shopping to get their Christmas or holiday presents on a steal, and the Toronto outlets is certainly a major attraction for many. With Toronto and Peel in lockdown, we may even see some shoppers coming in from those areas into Halton Region to take advantage of the Black Friday deals. Now, the town of Halton Hills has currently said this past week that while they can't force people out of region to stay within their own, they are encouraging them to do so. And while Halton residents also get ready to go out and shop, Halton Hills Mayor Rick Bennett is asking you to not only shop local as much as you can and support local business, but also to pack a little kindness when doing so.
I think what's important is that as much as we're all suffering COVID fatigue, and I know I am as much as anybody, because I get all the emails, what's going on, still keep your 2 meter distance. I heard a good expression, 6 feet apart today or 6 feet under tomorrow. So I think, if you can keep a social distance, wear your mask, and one key message is be kind, be kind, be kind, especially to our cashiers that are working so hard in the grocery stores, and our merchants and everybody else, the people in the healthcare system. There's been a lot of cases where people have lost their tempers and been short. So let's be kind to everybody, because they're not making big bucks that are working in a cashier. They don't deserve to have somebody being impolite to them, or because you're frustrated. They're there providing an essential service so that you can get your groceries. So really, everybody be kind to everybody.
Be kinder for sure. Okay, we're going to take a short break right here. On the other side, though, a Rudolph trail? Don't go away. Welcome back to Halton News. Looking for something to do with the family this holiday season that will bring a smile to little ones' faces? Well, why not see how many red-nosed reindeer you can find in Aldershot? Nikki Wesley has that story.
Walking around the Christmas tree.
Kinga Repick, Jennifer Thompson, and Stephanie Pattison banded together this Christmas to bring a little more holiday joy to Aldershot.
This is the first annual Rudolph and Aldershot event, and what we're trying to get the community together to do is to put up a Rudolph inflatable on their front lawn as part of their decorations, or their balcony if they live in an apartment. And then so we're putting together a map of all the Rudolphs in Aldershot so that people can drive around and find them, and it's just a fun event to bring some Christmas cheer to our community.
So far, they already have more than 40 Rudolphs for families to find.
Well, Christmas celebrations are a little bit different this year with COVID-19, and this is a way we just thought would bring some happiness and some Christmas cheer to everywhere. And it's an event that people can participate in safely, and you can social distance, and you can just drive around in your car and look at lights and find the Rudolphs. And it's just kind of a fun thing to do for the families in our community.
While out hunting for that shiny red nose, you can also drop donations of socks off at 1172 Dowling Crescent.
So as part of the initiative, we're collecting sock donations for Socks for Hope, which provides socks to the less fortunate in our community. And socks are one of the most needed but less frequently donated items. So you can drop off a pair of new packaged socks, and they'll go to people who really need them this Christmas.
If you want to take part in the fun,
you can find the map on our Instagram account, which is at Rudolph and Aldershot. Or if you'd like to join our Facebook group, just search Rudolph and Aldershot, and we'll be happy to add you. We just hope that this brings a smile to people's faces this holiday season, and we'd really love to see more and more people participating every year.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
Happy holidays!
I gotta get my hands on that sweater for sure. There have been many posts on social media asking parents to make sure that they are taking credit for big ticket items instead of letting them come from Santa this year. The idea helps to prevent hurt feelings when children compare what Santa brought to them when they go back to school. Have a look at this tip.
So I really agree with, not giving Santa all the credit. If you're getting something huge that you know most of the kids in your area aren't, and that might set up some awkward situations for your kids to navigate, then think about that. You got to think about the bigger picture and everybody involved, especially this year because a lot of families are struggling and they aren't able to do those big things as well.
And that is a drive up to Halton Hills, Georgetown specifically. Gloomy today. And here is a look at the forecast for tomorrow. 5 degrees with some sunshine and a little bit of rain, but that's going to stop for Sunday with plenty of sunshine at 7 degrees. 3 degrees for Monday, a mix of some flurries or rain as well. Tuesday, we're going to see some more of the white stuff at 2 degrees. And of course, Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud at 3 degrees. Okay, here's a look at the stocks for today. Another short break right here on the other side, though. Miracle on Main Street. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Halton News. I am really excited to bring to you right out of MP Adam Vancouver's office. Adam is there right now with Tigerjeet of the Tigerjeet Foundation. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
It's a pleasure. And you're right, I am here with Tiger Ali Singh, but I'm calling him Tiger Ali Santa Singh today.
Absolutely.
He's celebrating. We're in the holiday spirit.
You certainly are. And so let's talk about this. So it's a Miracle on Main Street, just for those that don't know. It's certainly going to be unique, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This year is going to be unique, but COVID, we're going to lay the smackdown on COVID's derriere. Adam has been an unbelievable ambassador. He's an unbelievable friend of mine. And we just came together, and like-minded individuals throughout town came together. We said, just because we can't have this live epic event that we do, that's become a Milton tradition, become a staple in all of Halton, we're going to go online. We're going to go virtual. We got a big announcement coming on Monday. We're going to release that news to the world. So this is the 3rd year that Halton Regional Police and the Tigerjeet Singh Foundation have merged this partnership. They had Toys for Tots that's amalgamated now under our Miracle on Main Street umbrella. And it's going crazy. So we're really, really excited. And it's exactly what you said. It's something new, something unique, but that's what drives us. That's what floats Adam in my boat all the time. We're athletes, and now we're coming in to doing the philanthropy, and we want to bring to philanthropy, we want to take it to a different level.
Well, and you know, taking it to a different level, sure, is certainly really important this time. Adam, if you could just speak to this. I mean, like, this time of year is, and especially during COVID-19, is more important now more than ever to really, you know, give back and to be able to help out, because normally when we have these events and people can come together, you can kind of see. So right now it's out of sight, out of mind with these issues that are going on. But, you know, so the giving has to almost ramp up a little bit this year because of COVID-19, don't you think?
Yeah, this has been an extraordinarily difficult year for everybody, and that's even more true for Halton's less fortunate. And we're just going to make sure that COVID-19 is not going to put a headlock on the Christmas holiday season for so many kids. We're going to make sure that kids can still have a happy holiday season with presents. We're also going to move in towards maybe some gift cards for families for groceries, so that you know, families can have a happy holiday. Because look, this has been a really, really extraordinarily difficult year. 2020 has been extremely challenging, but that's not going to stop Miracle on Main Street. Tiger Ali Singh and I, we're both world champions, we're both Miltonians, and we're both champions for kids. We're going to make sure that everybody has a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas this year.
And you know, I love the wrestling puns there. It's really, really fitting for this, right?
He said he heard of floating boats, so yeah, you know.
Well, just for anybody that does, I know you're going to have this big announcement next week, but where can people get more information about A Miracle on Main Street?
Well, that's a really great question. So we made it very, very simple. miracleonmain.ca. That's it. There's nothing else to it. miracleonmain.ca. You just go onto there. It'll have all the information. There'll be a donation button there. They'll show what other designated locations throughout all of Halton that are accepting toys from Miracle on Main Street. They'll give the whole itinerary. So this campaign of ours is going to be running up until Christmas Eve. So give. That's all we can ask. And the other thing which I want to share for those that aren't aware is that we're very proud of this. At the Tigerjeet Singh Foundation, we absolutely charge for 0 administrative fees. So each and every penny out of each and every dollar raised is going to go towards the purchase of a toy.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me about this, and I look forward to that announcement next week. Have a good day.
Thanks,
Thank you
Melissa.
so much. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you.
Now, before I leave you today, here is a look at today's Burlington Food Update.
I just want to let people know about a couple of different drives that are going on right now for us. The major one that's actually happening nationwide is through Loblaws, through Fortino's and the No Frills brand here in Burlington. If you're donating food there, great. They have their bins collecting food for us. On top of that, they also are allowing you to top up your receipt so that the extra money will actually come to us here at the food bank. And they actually do allocate it by city. So anything that you give to the Fortino stores here or the No Frills stores here will actually come to us right here at the Burlington Food Bank. So thank you so much for those people that decide to top up their bills. We really appreciate it. And especially we want to thank Loblaws as a whole for all that they do. We also want to thank just the various stores across the city that continue to collect food. You can drop off food there or at the local fire halls. They're great ways of making sure the food gets to us. There's also a few other things going on around the city. One of them is Nickelbrook have included us again in Cause for a Cause next month. So starting on Tuesday, you can buy your Cause for a Cause. It's cause and effect, and we get a portion of the proceeds from their store and online sales. But more importantly, they're doing their holiday market next week, and they're selling Christmas trees online right now. You can order your Christmas tree, pick up your Christmas tree next week, and part of the proceeds of those trees come to us here at the Burlington Food Bank. So again, thank you so much to all the people out there that are continuing to support us. And if you need help, please make sure you're contacting us. There is no reason anybody here in Burlington is going hungry. We have lots of food, and we have lots of support from the community to be able to purchase the food that we need to make sure that we're able to help you out. So info@burlingtonfoodbank.ca or give us a call 905-637-2273. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Keep socially distanced.
And that's it for Halton News tonight. Go to yourtv.tv for more information. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.